Millions of geese from Canada have moved, invaded numerous regions throughout the United States that they have incurred billions of dollars in harm to the United States, the agricultural sector and the setting, despite the fact that many counter actions that have been implemented too. The quantity of geese in Canada is still. The U.S. government was forced to make drastic measures. Watches this video with us till the end to discover how to handle different species. Hi buddies, this is your zone. Impacted by this goose species that are found in the majority of parks, on grass and highways. Lakes are also a common location for them. Method and reside in the fields where they congregate in big groups, devours the crop and flocks. Sectors, as stated by the U.S. Department of Canada, geese for agriculture cost roughly $1.50 billion. Harm to Americans. Agriculture on both. Concerning growth in Canada, goose populations have driven scholars and farmers should look for practical answers. One of the prominent techniques employed to manage them is methods to capture Canada geese. This approach has had notable outcomes and has had a significant impact in reducing the negative consequences of the working theory of American agriculture with regard to Canada geese. Using a Canada goose net trap is straightforward but efficient. Nets are positioned where there are lots of Canada geese, particularly in agricultural regions where seed damage is common. This is a safe technique for Canada geese, aiding in the management of their population while without harming the environment. The outcomes following the use of technique for capturing Canada geese using nets are uplifting. As per the U.S. Department of Agriculture in 2023, using this approach, more than 600,000 geese in Canada. This remarkable figure demonstrates that weaving Canada geese traps is genuinely successful in managing invasive populations of Canada geese. This entails reducing their influence on the environment and agriculture. The beneficial effect doesn't give up trying to reduce the number of Canada goose, but also encompasses economic, enhances the strategy for capturing Canada. Having geese with nets has reduced detrimental impacts of Canada geese on American agriculture. Based on approximations, technique has enabled American farmers to save around $100 million in damage expenses brought on by Canadians goose. This indicates not just a successful control mechanism as well as a crucial financial gain for rural communities, as well as the national economics. Additionally, the usage of hunting dogs been utilized and honed to address Canada geese. In spite of considerable attempts, the number of Canadian geese has remained constant despite pressure from the U.S. government and was compelled to accept the severe actions to regulate the circumstances. In this instance, hunting techniques that have been prioritized by concentrating on lowering the quantity of Canadian geese to minimize damage, to safeguard the environment and advance agriculture. Despite the fact that there is a lot of disagreement in relation to Canadian goose's ethics, maximizing the effectiveness of hunting continues to be a key concern for governments and participants. Up to this point, hunting Canadian geese is now a well-liked technique that American farms frequently submit applications to decrease the harm that these GE bring about. U.S. agriculture, as reported by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, approximately 200 are the millions of Canadian geese that U.S. annually, aiding in limiting their population and lessen the harm they cause. Even though this action has been successful, favorable outcomes that it has also generated a great deal of controversy about ethical considerations and specifications. Taking into account and putting into practice Canada goose hunting is genuinely a successful method of 2016. Following the expansion of hunting, Canadian geese have decreased in number, reduced by about 10%. Of this has helped to lower harm that Canadian geese have brought to. However, to apply this strategy, American agriculture by roughly, efficiently and without resulting in contentious collaboration between officials and farmers are required to engage in hunting. Hunters will invest much of your time and they were compelled to set up puppets, calling out like Canadian geese. For them too, they'll go to high grassy places to hide. 2. Hunting Canada geese at the moment. The sole action that has noteworthy outcomes in managing their quantities despite the fact that Canada geese hunting advantages the environment and agriculture. The hunter's extreme practice of hunting Canadian game is always the ethical one. Goose involves more than just the creatures, right to life, but it also poses issues regarding how we go about doing the best. Control this calls for thought and cooperation between stakeholders. The practice of Canadian geese hunting can be a successful strategy for managing intrusive Canadian geese. Nevertheless, action must be taken carefully and morally. The main emphasis ought to focus on lessening harm to American farming and safeguarding the surroundings while making certain that this, when hunting is done properly, then shortly following their harvest, the geese will be transported from preparing this species' flesh is progressively rising to the top of the most popular meats in America, thus the authentic. What measures are you employing, I wonder, in order to handle this Canadian geese issue? Kindly leave a comment below and use the comments area to inform us. And let's now continue to watch the video these colonists had in the 1500s. Multiple justifications for importing wild boar. Food was a major factor in the migration from Europe to America. Pork was a valuable protein source that was reasonably easy to raise and offered a steady supply of meat for the colon. Pigs are also recognized for the capacity to adjust to novel surroundings and forage food, which makes them a worthwhile an early settlers' resource. They are also utilized for hunting, since they 2.6 million or more wild boars in these animals alone have adjusted to new. They are able to flourish in a range of various settings, including wild marshes and woodlands. Pigs can transmit illness, harm crops, and even represent a risk to people and other animals, despite numerous measures to manage their populations over time. Hunting, trapping, and aerial, however, have been shooting not successful. Being omnivores, they will consume a wide range of foods, such as plants, insects, and small animals. They are also skilled foragers because they are active at night and have a keen sense of smell. Pigs are the primary food supply and play a significant role as both prey and predators in the food chain. We'll go feed the cubs after leaving them in a secure location, and after the piglets are weaned, they will join the mother and other pig group members to search for food and protect themselves from predators. Male wild boars are mostly solitary, although they can join groups during the breeding season for mating purposes. A group can range in size from a few individuals to over 20, with females and their offspring commonly comprising the core of the group. The behavioral and social comprehension of wild boars in the United States has resulted in a noteworthy adverse effect. Annually, the damage caused by these animals to crops and property exceeds $2 billion, with crop destruction accounting for around. It's believed that hogs cause greater than 50% harm to crops such as corn and soybeans. Moreover, they stomp and eat crops, leaving behind remnants that may take years to disappear and can potentially harm irrigation networks. Additionally, the way they behave may result in soil erosion, which can then lead to sediment runoff and water pollution, all of which can harm the surrounding ecosystem systems and the environment. The issue of excessive numbers of feral pigs in the United States has led to numerous government organizations to act due to the nocturnal and cognitive adaptations of animals. To successfully capture wild boars, behavior hunters and trappers need to be knowledgeable and skilled. They may also require certain tools, including trained dogs and traps. Reports of wild boar harvests are required by law in several jurisdictions in order to track population trends and evaluate the efficacy of feral hog hunting. Because wild boars are strong and can jump over low fences, a high-strength electric fence is the most effective type of fence for this purpose because it can withstand their strength. The fence's strength and height are important factors that determine its effectiveness because wild boars can jump over low fences. The fence must be at least 3 feet high and made of sturdy material. The face of alterations in the environment and having an impact on inhibiting the growth of. Do you know any invading species colonies? Think there is a better way out there? If so, kindly remember to share your. Last but not least, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so that 1924 they may view it and enjoy it too. Comments and thoughts are welcome below. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to support our channel with our next videos.